Right on cue. There's the horn to begin the second half. Players on the center X. Opening face-off of the second half here. Infraction awarded possession. Wheat Ridge with the 4-goal lead here at Shea Stadium. Excellent 2 quarters of play. I still think that's a nice gap for Wheat Ridge on their behalf with 4 goals, but it just seems like it's a little much compared to the intensity and competitiveness we've seen out there. But it has been the Farmers who've had the upper hand throughout this game. Justin Guijo scoring at the 6:31 mark in the first quarter. Nathan Jeck evened things up in that first by scoring for Rock Canyon. Then Hall and Haight scored. Hall scored twice to open up the second to build a big lead. It eventually became 6-1. A couple of goals from Colton Jackson of RC. Trey Sayers scored on the back end of the second quarter, and that's where we sit at 7-3. Shot attempt, Rock Canyon, far side. Nathan Jeck can't get it through. Meanwhile, flag in the air. That was a long time on the delayed penalty. So it will be a man-up scenario for Rock Canyon, down 4 goals. Marty Cesario calling the action for you. Honored to be here as we get things going in the 5A brackets of the Colorado High School Lacrosse Championships. We're live from Shea Stadium here in Douglas County. Shout out #DougCo, Phil Mildren, Gail Kakak, Alex Wines, the rest of the crew. Thanks to Nick, the stadium manager.
30 seconds interference.
Shot from far away. How about that? Over the shoulder. Whip. And a goal for Colton Jackson and Rock Canyon. I think it was the Mystery Alaska scenario. Coach just pointed and pointed, told Colton Jackson, I need you, number 10. He has 3 goals, brings Rock Canyon to within 3. There's the replay. How about that from 25 yards away? The senior captain, the DU commit, scores his 3rd and the 4th for his squad. Wheat Ridge wins the faceoff, setting up the offensive possession as we have flipped sides. The Farmers working left to right. The rain starting to pick up. The umbrellas have popped open down underneath us. We began this night with a lightning delay. So you see that little dribbler, that was a centering attempt. Well defended by Rock Canyon. And I believe that horn is going to force a lightning delay. 10:25 mark, lightning delay.
Within six miles, so we need to clear the stands and the field again.
Our second lightning delay of this contest. Just as I was talking about it. My bad, the jinx. Just a quick reset as we got started. We're only a minute and a half into the 3rd quarter. Colton Jackson scores at 10:57. Rain picks up, umbrellas open. Then we had a bolt of lightning somewhere in a 6-mile radius, and thus the mountain delay. We will take the break and return. Again, we have 10 days until the championships. We're going to push this one through. We'll take a pause, and we will return to the broadcast to finish this exciting game up. You see the score. Wheat Ridge still up 4. A lightning delay at Shea.
In your car for this duration, it is not safe to be standing underneath the stadium.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium. You get a glimpse of those heavy raindrops that are falling heavily on top of the players right now. After our second lightning delay, we have resumed play here in the 3rd quarter of this first round game in the Class 5A brackets in Colorado High School Lacrosse. Wheat Ridge has a 7-4 lead. As you see again, Play has begun. Wheat Ridge working the clear, getting across center line. Hustling hard, Justin Kehoe. Taking that shot, trying to test the turf. We're at the point where the ball's going to skid off the turf. Very wet out there. Kehoe scored a goal to start things off. In terms of the scoring in this entire contest, way back at the 6:31 mark in the first quarter. Rock Canyon with possession, sidearm shot, that's defended well. Mason Markham seemed like he still has his vision. Of course, we're going to go there after 2 delays now in the contest. Do guys lose their sharpness coming out of the locker room twice unexpectedly? Markham seems like he's still dialed in, making that save, and the guys continue to play. If you've just joined us, I will give you a scoring summary and a reset. Now that we have some space, Justin Kehoe, as I mentioned, 6:31 first quarter. Nathan Jeck tied things up at 1-1 at the 5:52 mark. Then Zach Hall and Austin Haight scored in the first quarter. Zach Hall scored twice to open up the second. Another Wheat Ridge goal by Matt Binns to make it 6-1 at the 6:30 mark in the second. Colton Jackson erupted with 2 goals for Rock Canyon. That made it 6-3. Trey Sayers, the D-man, scored at 1:42 in the second to get the lead back up to 4 for Wheat Ridge at 7-3. We came out of the locker room at the halftime intermission. Colton Jackson scored again, his 3rd of the game for Rock Canyon to make it 7-4, which is where we sit. But at 10:25, another lightning delay in the 3rd, and since then, after a lengthy pause where we waited around, I tolerated conversation of technical issues with the crew. Go ahead and refer to my Twitter. After the lengthy delay, we're now back underway. We kind of expected, no matter what, we're going to get these games done. 10 days from now is the state championship at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Cannot afford to have makeup games. There's another one later on this evening between Mountain Vista and Fossil Ridge. So there's the reset. Marty Cesario, along with executive producer Phil Mildren, Gail K-Cat, Alex Wines, and the rest of the crew, proud to bring you this contest on Stream It Sports. A little unorthodox in terms of our coverage, taking a couple of different pauses, but we're good to go. And again, you can see those raindrops falling down from top to bottom on your monitor. Another hint of stadium officials saying we're going to get it done. Meanwhile, Rock Canyon coming up. There's a shot from up close. Count it right in front of the goal crease for the Jaguars. Reed Becker. One father, very excited. Let's go ahead and take a peek at it. On the rush, Rock Canyon, excellent feed from Colton Jackson, feeding Reed Becker, a goal on the board after the delay, a 2-goal spread, and Rock Canyon is clicking, awaiting the face-off on the center X. Rain coming down hard. Pacello wins the face-off, moves forward, and now we'll give to the far wing as Wheat Ridge tries to reset in the offensive attack area. A threat has been given to Wheat Ridge. In command on the scoreboard throughout this contest. But Rock Canyon has scored twice in the 3rd and are within 2. Farmers with the ball. The visuals. Wheat Ridge in black. Blue numerals, trimmed in gold. Rock Canyon wearing the whites and the dark gold helmets. Ground ball right along center line. Going to chase it is Wheat Ridge. Picking up on it nicely is Brody Bauman. Crossing over that X spot, defended well. Like that defense on the part of Michael Phelps. the four-year starter, future engineer. Here comes a sidearm left-handed release, picked up nicely. Excellent save, Eric Peters. Anxiety elevating here at Shea Stadium. Rock Canyon within 2. They have possession, coming across, careful, ground ball, long stickman, can't get it, eventually does. Check to the body, hard, Colton Jackson. Wheat Ridge keeping it, there's a shot low, a save by Eric Peters in Rock Canyon. Goals by Jackson and Becker in the third have pulled the Jaguars in white to within 2. You will see splashes of sunshine as soon as these clouds pass over us from the west to the east. But right now, big drops continue to pour. Rock Canyon's defense with a takeaway. Long stick. Nice work, Ian Hicks. Feed to the far wing and a reset up top. Give it to Colton Jackson. That's a bright idea. Mr. Jackson has 3 goals in this game. About 4.5 to play in the third period. Rock Canyon, the 8th seed in the tournament. Down 2, but they've got the momentum. You can tell by the aggressiveness and how the attackmen are advancing. I think the Jaguars are feeling it right now. Jackson to the far side wing. Nathan Jeck has a goal in the game. Tough release, excellent defense on the back check by Zach Hall, who also has 3 goals in this game. First to the ball, Rock Canyon. So there's Jack across the way. Gets one through and scored. Pause. The hands did not go up. We all reacted. That is not a goal. Made the net move, but it was on that far side, away from the post. So pardon me. No highlight for Nathan Jeck. Instead, Wheat Ridge transitioned quickly from left to right, lost the ball, so the Jaguars are going to have it. And there's Eric Peters. Peters will advance on his own, and he probes downfield, looking for that long pass. Now the help. Hicks has done an excellent job bringing it up. There's a flag on the field. It's delayed, and now the whistle. Cross check against who? It'll be against Wheat Ridge. So one of the farmers will take a knee near the timer's table. As we look across the way, you can see Rock Canyon up top. Pretty nice tent there. Nice digs. Timer's table also has a smaller tent.
Wheat Ridge penalty number 10.
Shout to the local hardware store.
30 seconds.
So, man up, Rock Canyon down 2, under 3 in the third. Here they go. Thought maybe a shot attempt was coming from this near wing. No. Sidearm shot, low, blocked by the defenseman, Cody Bartusiak. Shut down D-man on his way to Lynn University in Florida. The rush, Wheat Ridge gets the shot off and a save, Eric Peters. The sophomore Peters is dialed in after the second delay, and you can see those raindrops. That's not snow, but it looks like it. Cloudburst here in Douglas County after 2 lightning delays. Exciting first-round matchup. Rock Canyon, 2 goals here in the third, within 2. They were down 5 in the middle of the second. Wheat Ridge has the ball. The retreat by Reagan Devine. Back to that X spot. Spin on the dodge. Is that Bartusiak back there? Trying to get a read on the number. You see the dark numerals of Wheat Ridge. I believe that's Dan O'Connor working the X for Wheat Ridge, and he has the ball right now once we get the wide shot. More of that patience from Wheat Ridge. That's how they started off this contest. 2 lengthy possessions of a minute and a half, which resulted in goals. Nice defense, and then the whistle. And a flag down. I thought that was a good stick to the chest. Cross check to the face, too high. Sensitivity all season long. Adjusted rules by the officials.
Number 25, 1 minute cross check.
So for the third time in the game, Wheat Ridge will have the man-up scenario. Interesting observation by one of our crew members. Because of how wet it is, if you press with the cross, it's going to slide up on your man and up and under the chin. Man up, but an unforced error, and Rock Canyon gets it. Peters up to his long stickman, the easy clear down a man. Here comes the rush. Rock Canyon getting a shot off and a save by Mason Markham. Danger, and Markham is hurt. Can't tell if he took a ball to the gut or a rib. Excellent save by the junior, Mason Markham, but no delay on his reaction. He got hit, and on impact, he hit the turf. Good job, training staff, immediately getting out. It didn't go high, I believe, to where he took it to the Adam's apple. I always worry about the ball riding up. In a game of plenty of pauses, we now have another, this one to injury, and we wish the best for the junior Mason Markham. Round of applause. That's Chris Knott, the head coach. You see him calling his other goaltender, who's had a lot of playing time. There's Coach Knott right there, holding the goalie stick. Now that adds to an interesting part of the storyline. Starting goaltender Mason Markham, nice save. But after doing so, falls to the ground. We'll get another look at it. Now we'll have a change in goalies. Here's the shot. Still can't get a read on that. He made the block up high, and the reason why I thought maybe he took the ball to the gut, because you saw Markham reach to his midsection. Warm-ups as we have the changing goaltenders. I'm assuming it's Nolan Hector that's going to come out there. He has a lot of game time, including, well, really one of the biggest highlights of the year in the regular season, where he scored from about that spot across the way. Here's another look. The shot by Dylan Adams, the midi. Slow motion, that's an excellent look. Like in the chest or perhaps the collarbone issues. What's nice is Mason Markham got up and he shook his head like, I'm good, I'm good. We will resume play with a new goaltender out there. Just a few ticks, under 20 to play here in the third, so we'll get another pause, and we'll obviously have to keep an eye on the goalie circle for Wheat Ridge. A 2-goal game, Wheat Ridge being patient. The dime, Dima Makarov, just going to wait it out, and there's the horn. Eventful third quarter. 2 goals, both by Rock Canyon. Colton Jackson, Reed Becker. 1 lightning delay, and then an injury pause. Another 12 minutes to play. Who's going to move on to the quarterfinals? We'll continue in moments on Stream It Sports. "12 minutes on the clock, 2-goal spread. The impact of the result, a berth into the quarterfinals. We're trying to keep a track on Twitter of all the other action happening around the state. In Class 5A, we do know this: Arapahoe and Kent Denver have advanced to the quarterfinals. One of these squads is trying to do the same. The winner will play the victor in the matchup between Cherry Creek, the top seed in the tournament, and Colorado Academy. That's happening at the Stutler Bowl. There's a sidearm whip on the run from Makarov, and well defended. Boy, well, how about the play of Eric Peters, the goaltender, the sophomore for RC, here in the second half, stopping everything. So far, a shutout. Allowed nil in the third, and we sit here with a 7-5 game. Rock Canyon still has work to do. Raindrops still coming down, but that will go away eventually. We're seeing sunshine over the Hogbacks across the way. Always beautiful views from Shea Stadium. Looking at Mount Evans, the Hogbacks, Waterton Canyon. Right now, rain falling down on the guys you're watching.
But it's going to be a good outcome, so I'll be able to talk.
From the X spot up top, Colton Jackson attempting the sidearm. Well defended by Trey Sayers. Here comes the shot. Off the defender, Reagan Devine. Good work. By the way, speaking of playoff action, I'd like to give some love and a hello to the Wheat Ridge girls soccer squad. My understanding, some of the parents also eavesdropping, getting a look at what these guys are doing in the Lacs. Good luck and hello to the Wheat Ridge soccer girls. Extra special love to all the parents and the fans underneath us. A nice array of umbrellas underneath us. I always like to do a little shopping because we're up top. We can get a good look. That shot a little wide. Eric Peters picks it up and snags it out of the air. Love the work of the goalie, Eric Peters, in this second half for Rock Canyon. Check from behind, hit the deck, flag on the turf. Now another. Rock Canyon's down 2, and I believe they're going to be at minimum 1 man up. Someone lost a glove on the field.
Wheat Ridge penalty number 28.
Nobody's claiming it.
Pushing.
Is that one of those? You and me? Is that the deal? After school, drop the gloves. So that penalty against Wheat Ridge. Man up situation. Rock Canyon down 2. They have the ball. Colton Jackson just directing from up top. That's Jackson with the ball, trailing and getting it. Ty Veers. Veers was very active in the first. Dodge, release, that's too high. If you notice, Mason Markham is back in the cage, guarding that goalie circle again, so that's good news. After making a nice save at the back end of the third and dropping to the ground, being taken off the field. So Markham's back in, and there's a goal. Can't stop that one. You can count it for Rock Canyon. Wesley Wainwright brings the Jaguars within one. The sophomore Wainwright, one of the young leaders on the attack for the Jags this year, puts one through in the man up, and we have a one-goal game in the state playoffs. Face-off, victory, no. Ground ball picked up, Jaguars. Nice hustle on the part of Hunter Newcomb. The score is 7-6. The guys in white are down one. They have the ball. Under 9 to play in the final period at Shea. Great defense. Back check, popped the ball. Guess who? Benny Pacello. Tough guy. Makes a play for his defense. Working with it. Dan O'Connor. Trying to get help on a wing. That's not going to happen. Change in personnel. O'Connor's going to work with it. Shielding nicely. Back up top, Pacello. Reset Wheatridge in this possession. Kehoe doing a nice job directing on quite a few possessions as the midi. Little variation in the offensive attack for Wheatridge. Two guys behind that goal line. O'Connor getting a read from across the way from his staff. Up top, Brody Bauman. Pardon me, that was Walker Denton. Thought he had an opportunity in a lane to maybe take a shot instead. The ball was popped loose. Excellent defense for Rock Canyon. Forces the turnover. About 7.5 to play here in the final period. A one-goal game. Rock Canyon has scored 3 in the second half. They have shut out Wheatridge here in the final 2 quarters so far. After being down second. No give up in the Jaguars on their home turf. Shot is through. We've got a tie game. After the goal, Rock Canyon, Nathan Jack.
Rock Canyon goal number 7, Nate Jack.
Jack, with his second goal of the game, has evened up this contest. At the 7-minute mark, here at Shea Stadium in the first round of the playoffs. Class 5A action. Winner goes to the quarters to possibly play the top seed in the tournament. Long stickman, bounce attempt. That's too strong. Over the cage, out of bounds. Nearest were the Farmers. They'll keep possession. 4 goals in the second half for Rock Canyon. So far, blanking Wheatridge in the final 2 quarters. Nate Jack at 6:59 in the fourth has made it a 7-7 game. Do you like the playoff intensity on Stream It Sports? Don't answer that. I read your mind. We're all good. Sidearm shot, blocked by the defender. Ground ball pickup. Peters dialed in. There's a shot, and it's good. Austin Haid pops the cork in the second half for the Wheatridge Farmers. Way to stay with the play, Austin Haid. That ball hit the ground twice after 2 shot attempts. Haid picks it out of the air, waist level, and then gets the shot to go through. Along with taking the lead, what Haid just did was give Wheat Ridge the belief they were going to score in the second half. They were getting really denied through the second half here. That shot, Peters able to make the stop. Quick clearing across the way. Sunshine, you see it now start to creep up on the turf. It'll set in a few minutes. I won't jinx us and hint that we may have an extra session. I'm just saying. You see raindrops still falling. Storm cloud above the press box. Sunshine coming through. We'll see if that affects vision on the passes. No harm for the long stickman for Wheat Ridge. Rushes up, release the shot off the post. I can already tell you take your shots to the far post of each of the goaltenders right now, because that's when they're going to face the sun. Do you want me to draw it up on my telestrator? Circle X mark, that's where you shoot. 1 goal lead Wheat Ridge. They have possession. Far wing, rush. Mishandled on the pass. So one of the attackmen came across center. No harm. Keeping possession. Wheat Ridge working with it. Austin Haid, who right now has the go-ahead goal. 6:06 mark. Austin Haid, the only goal in the second half for Wheat Ridge, as they still have a 1-goal lead, but now RC bringing it up. Careful, nice adjustment. Hack to the knees, crowd reacts. Colton Jackson too tough to be affected. Brings it across. And now Rock Canyon will set up their offense. Far wing, pushing, Nathan Jeck. Jeck scored at 6:59 to tie the game up. Here it comes. Thought I heard a thud off the helmet of Mason Markham, and you see him getting attended to. Markham has already had an injury delay. Credit his toughness to return to the game. Short midi thought he lost it for a moment. Brody Bauman did get it across, but then an unforced error and a possession awarded to Rock Canyon. The Jaguars looking to tie it up, get the win, advance to the quarterfinals for the 3rd time under head coach Lewis Golden's tenure. Wheat Ridge, a couple of state championship appearances in the last 2 years. They won the title in 2013. Let's take a look at the replay of the shot that went off the noggin of Mason Markham. The release there, Jack, bam, right to the grill. And you see Mason Markham. He's a teenager, right? What was that? I like his defenseman coming to check on him, but it's been a very momentous second half for the goaltender for Wheat Ridge, the junior, Mason Markham. This has played out well in terms of seeding, an 8 versus 9. Rock Canyon, the 8 seed, 12-3 overall, finished 2nd in the Dougco Conference. 10-5 overall Wheat Ridge on the year. Wheat Ridge 4th in the Front Range. A very good and proud program supported by Aspire Beverages, who sponsor a lot of teams in the state, including the Wheat Ridge program.
Spire Natural Sports Drinks, designed with 8 grams of sugar, 35 calories, B vitamins, 4 core electrolytes, pure performance, no junk. Available at Target, Whole Foods stores across Colorado, AspireBeverages.com. Rock Canyon down 1 now, looking to even it up again. Under 3 to play. Can the Jags tie it up for the second time in the fourth? Jackson's going to get the sidearm whip. He scores! Colton Jackson scores at 2:40. And we're even again. 8-8 here at Shea. You saw on his approach, the senior was going to take that shot. Good defense against him, but he battled through it. Quick face-off, tie ball game. Pacello wins it. Wheat Ridge has the possession. Whistle blown. Five goals in the second half for Rock Canyon to just 1. The Austin Haight goal for Wheat Ridge. Quite a second half for Rock Canyon. Timeout for Coach Golden and his staff for the Jags across the way. Wheat Ridge coming into this winning 4 in a row. Always playing aggressive schedule, taking the spring trip to California, playing top teams out west. Rock Canyon 12-3, but note this. They started the season with 2 losses. Since then, they've won 12 of 13, and their only loss was back on April 10th against Mountain Vista. The Douglas County Conference champs, the Nasty Crew that will play a little bit later on tonight here at Shea Stadium. The whistle gives the go. Wheat Ridge has the ball. Hall working with it, continuously checked with the pole of Michael Phelps. Back up top, Andrew Fryrich. To the far wing. Patience. Tie ball game. 2 minutes left. Fourth quarter in the state playoffs, round 1. There's the release. Tough angle. Save. Eric Peters. Pushing through and clearing. Nice work. Eruption of the crowd. Harrison Wagner doing a nice job. And another whistle blown. A timeout for Coach Knott and Wheat Ridge. It's a digital broadcast, right? So I'm imagining how you're viewing. If you were doing mobile, you pulled over the car. If you're on your tablet, you're just standing there, holding it. If you're on your PC, you thought you were going to get a little work in. We're proud to bring you the procrastination. What a great game. 3-1 lead after the first for Wheat Ridge. That grew to 6-1 midway through the second. 7-3 at halftime. The Farmers had the lead. Colton Jackson scores to make it 7-4 a minute into the third. Then a lightning delay, a lengthy one. They come out of that break. Reed Becker scores at 9:52 for RC. Wainwright scores. Jeck scores to make it 7-7. Austin Haight regain the lead for Wheat Ridge at 6:06. And then at the 2:40 mark, senior leader Colton Jackson scored his 4th of the game to tie things up, and that's where we are. That is Jackson awaiting the go whistle. "95 seconds left in a round 1 game that's all knotted up here at Shea Stadium. I would imagine the Jags would be quite patient, waiting for the right shot. Jeffrey Thompson, quick look over to his staff. That's Wainwright, who has scored here in the 4th. Trying to use a moving pick with the ball, Hunter Newcomb. Long pole up in the air, unforced error, and a steal by the talented defenseman, Trey Sayers. 40 seconds left. Wheat Ridge with a final possession and a timeout for Rock Canyon. What a play by Sayers, great anticipation. Realized ball was coming from the X spot, over the top, get it with the reset to Colton Jackson, but Trey Sayers put the long pole up in the air and makes the steal. How about those 3 guys? I believe they're working the second game, aren't they? Yes, they are. We started tonight before opening face-off, took a lightning delay for a good 15-20 minutes. We had another delay right after we began the second half, and that went long, half hour. They're in the rain. Thankfully not cold, 53 degrees right now here in Highlands Ranch. But those refs, they got another one to go after this. All tied up, 37 seconds left. Wheat Ridge ball. Walker Denton shags it and awaits the whistle. We await the approach of the Farmers. Two Wheat Ridge players bunched up in front of the goalie circle. Zach Hall coming this side. Can't get the release off. 10 seconds left, ball down. Will Wheat Ridge get a shot off? 5 seconds left. Around the back of the cage, gotta get one off, and that's a missed attempt. We're gonna go to overtime. Excellent defense on the part of Rock Canyon to really deny a good attempt. Cody Gardella doing a great job, along with his fellow defenseman. Round one lacrosse. A quick pause. We'll get back to the face-off X, and we'll get some OT postseason action from Shea in moments here on Stream It Sports.
Come on now.
Benny Pacello at center line, hovering over the X, waiting to face off against Colton Jackson. There's a brawl. Overtime session, all tied up 8-8. Pacello wins it, then loses it. Jackson gets rid of a player, and we're gonna have a flag 10 seconds into the overtime. Pacello won the face-off. Jackson sent a Wheat Ridge player to get the ball. Then from behind, Jackson sent to the deck.
Penalty 1-5.
And now a penalty on the Farmers. A man up is Rock Canyon here in overtime. Jaguars working that hard angle from the near side. Release by Nathan Jeck. Denied by the defense of Wheat Ridge. Still keeping possession of the ball. Careful as it goes to the floor for a moment. RC will have it as one of the middies gets into position quickly to help out. Again, man up, Rock Canyon, and now a timeout. Everybody got quiet here at the stadium. What an outstanding night of entertainment. Thank you, Farmers and Jaguars. Here in overtime, RC taking the timeout. They have the ball and will be a man up when we resume play. If you're enjoying the action, remember you can be a part of it. See if we can find a fit, work out a win-win situation. Email info@streamitsports.com to discuss such matters, or send the DM or tweet @StreamItSports. I believe this broadcast sells itself. Of course, helpers, the assists from these guys. What an outstanding game. First round action in the Class 5A state playoffs here in Colorado, Douglas County, live from Shea Stadium. Overtime. Rock Canyon worked so hard with an excellent second half to even things up, to force this extra session. RC in white with the ball. Waiting the release. Markham makes the save on the ground ball attempt. So the bounce attempt denied by Markham. He's had an eventful second half. Hurt once, dropped to the ground, brought off the field for a moment, and then got hit in the head once, and that stunned him for just a moment. Makes the save there. A minute and a half into the overtime. Rock Canyon still a man up. Colton Jackson working with it. What great defense by Wheat Ridge. Of course, it's Trey Sayers. The follow, though, by Rock Canyon stealing it. Jackson looks to release. Check from behind. Now he'll retreat. Reset. Jags up top. There's the whip and a score. Rock Canyon has won and will advance to the second round, the quarterfinals. There's a look at the replay from the far side wing. Ty Veers uses the shoulder to shield, get a little space with a slight bump, sidearm whip into the net, and the game winner for RC. Who's the big money winner tonight? Ty Veers with the G-dub. Special mention Colton Jackson with 4 goals and some strong play in the overtime session. As we look at that game winner once again, an excellent goal-scoring lacrosse play from the sophomore, Ty Veers. Give you the scoring summary, some final thank yous, and we'll sign off. Back at 6:31, Justin Kehoe, the midi, scored for Wheat Ridge to make it 1-0. Nathan Jeck tied it up for Rock Canyon at 5:52 to make it 1-1. Then explosion, Wheat Ridge, Zach Hall scored. Austin Haid, that pretty over-the-shoulder behind the back goal at the end of the first quarter to make it 3-1 Wheat Ridge. Then more Farmer, Zach Hall twice. 5-1 at the 10-10 mark. Then Matt Binns scored for the Farmers to make it 6-1. Huge advantage for Wheat Ridge. Colton Jackson, that's when he started to step things up and bring the senior leadership. In the man up, Jackson scored at 4:47 to make it 6-2. Jackson scored his second at 2:02 in the third to bring the Jaguars within 3. Trey Sayers, a nice defensive play, scored for Wheat Ridge at the 1:42 mark in the second to get the Farmers up 4. Then a whole lot of action and storyline. We begin the second half. Colton Jackson scored his third just a minute into the third. Then at 10:25, we take the lightning delay. That lasted a long time. Come out of that break, Reed Becker scores for RC. It was 7-5. You can feel the momentum. We continue into the fourth. Wes Wainwright scored at 9:07. Jaguars within 1. Then Nate Jack at 6:59 in the fourth tied things up at 7-7. Keep in mind at that point, RC had scored 4 times in the second half and were blanking Wheat Ridge. But Austin Haid scored his second of the game at 6:06 to get Wheat Ridge up a goal again. But Colton Jackson scoring his 4th of the game tied it up 8-8 at 2:40 in the fourth, and we advanced to the overtime session. Tough physical face-off to begin the OT. Benny Pacello won it, but then lost it. Colton Jackson picks it up, gets bumped from behind, flag onto the deck. Man up RC for a while. And eventually, Ty Veers works the dodge in the far wing, creates some space for himself, goes sidearm and gets it through to advance Rock Canyon into the quarterfinals. They will meet the winner of the Cherry Creek Colorado Academy game that is happening right now. Thank you so much to the staffs at both Wheat Ridge and Rock Canyon High Schools. We appreciate them taking calls, sharing, so we could offer some biographical and background information on each of these 2 fine programs. Thank you to Under Armour, Aspire Beverages. We appreciate them helping out and supporting these guys. Thank you to the crew here giving you this fine broadcast. I could talk all I want, but it's the visuals. That's why it looks good. So thank you to executive producer Phil Mildren, Gail Kakat, Alex Wines, and the rest of the gang. If you want to stay in contact, at Stream It Sports, at Marty Cesario, or hit us on the email, info@streamitsports.com. I'm going to sit down and take this in. Perhaps you do the same. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, final in overtime on the Ty Veers game winner. Rock Canyon wins 9-8 and moves on to the quarterfinals. Good night from Highlands Ranch.